somebody recognized that in Donald Trump, you finally had the one that you needed to just go full tilt. And it's incredible to watch. Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Elliot Omenson Show with Elliot Omenson and
Nathaniel Vossman.
We got a lot to bring at you from our stack of stuff today, so we're going to kind of summarize everything that we're going to be talking about, all right? And it covers a wide variety of topics, and I'm pretty excited about a lot of them. First off, we have the shadow government, nobody elected, right? So the State Leadership Initiative dropped this little bombshell. Turns out even if you elect a conservative governor, there's an army of national associations, like the National Association of State Treasurers, quietly pushing left-wing policies behind the scenes. It's like the DMV, but for ideology. You vote one way, they push another. Makes you wonder if we really have a two-party system or just two different marketing campaigns for the same bureaucratic machine. Then we got Trump says he's ordered a new census to take illegal immigrants out of the count. On one hand, I like the idea. Representation should be for citizens. On the other hand, I know the Constitution says count all persons, and I'm pretty sure the founders didn't mean all except Steve from Guatemala. I don't know if anybody from Guatemala is actually named Steve, but, you know. It's one of those moments where I agree with the principle, but wonder if the execution is going to end up like every other government project, late, over budget, and in court. Then we've got the 401k executive order. Apparently, Trump signed some executive order about 401ks, and people are already panicking, but mostly because it's Trump. Nobody has even read the fine print. They just assume their retirement's gone. Here's a crazy idea. Maybe read the policy before you start looting your own IRA. But hey, panic is the American left's new national pastime. Speaking of overreaction, Trump's decided to send the National Guard and hundreds of federal agents into D.C. to take back the city, despite crime actually being down. That's like bringing a SWAT team to a neighborhood barbecue because someone burnt hot dogs. This is exactly why I say the federal government should be small. If D.C. wants to run it itself into the ground, that's D.C.'s business. Just don't send me the bill. Next, we got Trump meeting with Putin in Alaska. No Ukraine, no EU, just the two of them and a lot of cold air. I'm sure it's all going to be fine. Nothing says serious diplomacy like staging it where the moose outnumber the people. We also had the CPI report come out, 2.7% year over year, which means officially inflation is moderate. And apparently, the stock market's pretty happy with it from everything I can see going on. And last but not least, probably my favorite thing we're going to talk about today is we got the WNBA and flying dildos. God bless women's sports. They've been fighting for decades for respect, and now we've got people throwing dildos onto the court. I'm not sure if it's protests, performance art, or just Tuesday in 2025. But at this rate, the league's going to have to really create a little more intrusive searchings at the door, right? I'm pretty sure all sporting venues require you to have a clear bag. So I'm not really sure where exactly people are hiding these things to sneak them in. But I might start going to the WNBA games just to get one of their new frisks looking for those things. So anyways, from shadow governments to airborne marital aids, America's still running full steam ahead, just in a lot of different and sometimes ridiculous directions. And our job, call it like we see it, stick to our principles, and remember, the smallest minority worth protecting is you. So let's get into it. What are we hitting? What are we going to hit first? I think we got a lot of census data up on the screen.
Yeah.
Oh, and before we get into that, one quick story. My girlfriend recently had me start putting baking soda into my BCAAs and pre-workout drink. Pro tip, shake afterwards. It never dawned on me what baking soda does. And so I started to shake this thing up after I had put everything into it. And the cap literally exploded and showered my entire kitchen in pink pre-workout. So that was quite the way to start off my morning. So I wish I could tie that into one of these topics.
Probably not, but
it was pretty entertaining.
Sneak peek into life.
I mean, literally just dripping off of the ceiling in the kitchen. Yeah.
It tastes pretty good or what?
Yeah, it doesn't taste bad at all. So luckily all the fizz is out of it, so I can go back to shaking it when I need it.
So what do we want to start with?
let's start with that article that I sent you. Do we got it?
Yeah.
You want to pull it up?
Yeah, I got it. Let's get that pulled up.
I think this is a pretty solid, right? So for years, Trump's been talking about the deep state. And the left sits there and makes fun of us and tells us we're nuts. There's no such thing. In my mind, it's always been obvious, right? Because I've always felt like, and this is a much better take on it than what I had, but I always know that and I learned this in the military, okay? In the military, and this might be hard for people to understand how it connects, right? But I remember thinking back to when the Syrian military gassed its own people. And nobody in America ever wonders, like, how do you get a military to gas its own people? We just view them as others. We view them as Muslims or Arabs. And I think because of our view of Muslims and Arabs, we just kind of like lump them up to all being insane and willing to kill each other at any time for anything all the time. And especially if you slap some Ramadan in the middle of a summer, well, now you really got them off on each other, right? But the fact of the matter is the Syrian military is comprised like every country's military from the people. And in order to get people to gas their own friends, family, and neighbors, you've really got to ask yourself what is it that will create that to happen, right? And I know, just follow me here for a second, because I know it probably seems like I'm way off topic. But my point is even within our own military, I watched the very same seeds of creating that outcome planted. And it basically comes down to a really simple thing. If I have a wife and I have kids and I need them provided and taken care of for, what am I willing to do to keep that paycheck going? Am I really willing to stand up to my leadership and end up getting thrown in the brig? Now, in America, right now, currently, I might be willing to, because there's checks in place to prevent the consequences of me being rebellious from being really that severe. But in countries like Syria, there are none of those checks. So for you to stand up against illegal orders means death to you, death to your wife, death to your kids. Here in America, it just means stripping your pay away. And I watched so many soldiers unwilling to ever do the right thing out of fear of having just two months of having one half of their pay taken. That's Article 15 insubordination stuff. A lot of times it's 2 months of your pay or half your pay for 2 months.
Yeah.
And I can't begin to tell you how many people will not even risk that to do the right thing, right? And so my point is where is your allegiance? Your allegiance is to where your money comes from. And this is true for everybody. And when you look at politics and you look at these politicians and these bureaucrats, if I'm running an organization or I'm part of an organization, do I want my budget cut?
No.
No. And in fact, when you look at how their budgets work, right, if they don't spend it, so I was stationed at Fort Hood. You can literally walk out to anywhere on Fort Hood and start digging, and you're going to come across a pile of ammo. There is millions of dollars of ammo buried on the ground at Fort Hood. Why would that be?
So that way they don't lose their budgeting when you don't use it all.
Exactly. Exactly. And every government bureaucracy is like this. And so they're literally designed to grow no matter what. We have to spend all of our budget. We got to burn all our shit. Even if we got to fucking bury it in the ground, we got to get rid of it so we can claim we used our budget so we can go to the table and try and get more the next year. How in the world can you possibly work for the federal government and be a Republican? How can you be a conservative? How can you be on the side of smaller government when your job is dependent upon government growth? So I've always felt like there is this massive bureaucratic left-wing Democrat monster just due to the nature. And I know not everybody that works for the federal government is a liberal and a leftist and all that. I'm just saying it's got to be really hard to espouse conservative principles. And I've even had, I had a friend of mine actually shortly after Trump got elected, who is a Midwestern white heterosexual male conservative. And he retired from the military as an officer, and he went to work for a military contractor. And he's sitting there literally complaining to me about how his budget cuts and they're being shrunk down and this and that, and he can't do his job and he needs more money, needs this. And I just look at him and I'm like, buddy, you're crying to the wrong guy. Like, as a small business owner, when the economy shifts or I mess up, guess what has to happen? I have to lay people off. I have to reduce costs. I have to take it out of my own pocket. I can't do the things that I wish I could do if I had an unlimited budget. You, in the government, what natural market forces do you have to ever require that? Nothing. So I don't know who you're crying to right now, but like, I ain't the one. Like, I'm glad you're losing your budget. I'm glad you're having to like not be able to hire as many people. I think that should be done across the entire board, right? So it's like to read this article and find out that there are all these bureaucrats and there's all these agencies and there's all these organizations and they're just sitting there doing whatever the hell they want. Nobody elected them. And they're literally doing whatever they want regardless as to what we vote for. I don't know what else you call that other than the deep state. And don't get me wrong, it's natural.
Yeah, I think that would be a pretty classic definition of deep state.
Yeah. So let's get into this and let's get into what they're like talking about, right?
Yeah, so
go ahead.
This is a article published on Fox News, and it's referring to a report that kind of talks about these national state level agencies that you really don't really hear much about, but that pretty much that they're trying to expose kind of the underlying DEI.
Well, it's not just DEI. It's DEI. Yeah. It's climate bullshit. It's like literally every leftist
gender identity.
Yeah, gender. It's like every leg of the leftist agenda they're pushing. Look at this. The NAIC. Who's the NAIC? The National Association of Insurance Commissioners is questioning whether sex-based auto insurance ratings are unfairly discriminatory. Now, ready for this? I can actually speak directly to this. We're in the middle of trying to create policies in the state of Montana, life insurance. How in the world can you create life insurance that doesn't take into account the male and female gender dynamic?
Yeah, of all things, you'd think life insurance would need it.
It is statistically provable facts that women live longer.
Yeah, pretty considerably.
Yeah, when you don't carry any responsibility through your life and you just mooch off some guy, you live longer. I'm kidding for all of you before you know. So anyways, before I really get myself in trouble, the state of Montana will not allow for an insurance company to base life insurance to take into account their gender.
So what do these insurance companies have to do to work around that? Because surely they have to raise rates or something.
Exactly.
To compensate for
that. And so here's what's amazing. Now, here's what really gets really weird. It's women's organizations that are fighting against allowing them to take this into account, which makes absolutely no sense.
So you're saying that they're trying to fight against this whole idea?
No, they're trying to. So it's trying to be undone.
Yeah.
They're trying to undo this to allow for gender to be taken into account.
Yeah, exactly.
And women's groups are fighting it. When you take gender into account, whose insurance is reduced? Women or men? Women.
Yeah.
So why in the world would women's groups be fighting against allowing gender to be considered on life insurance?
Beats me.
There's only one reason. It's because they're not a women's group. They're a left-wing propaganda arm.
Yeah, I mean, you think you'd want the cheaper rate.
Absolutely. And so right now, it's driving up women's costs because they're having to subsidize the men.
I'm sure the men are pretty happy.
I mean, I would be. This is wild. We literally just had to deal with this. We had never come across that before. I had never written a life insurance policy in Montana before.
That's crazy. Wow. I didn't even know, especially in the life insurance world, where it certainly makes a difference.
Yeah.
Like,
And you don't think it does in auto insurance? Everybody knows it does in auto insurance. Like, women might like love running into curbs and, hitting all sorts of random shit, but men have the more high risk behaviors that result in actual costly auto accidents.
Yeah, because I feel like all this, the biggest issue against like this left wing ideology is just the fact that in reality, everything here on this little paragraph here, all these things should be based on like statistics and data.
And it used to be. It used to be.
Like you said, like auto insurance. Like if there's some statistical difference between men and women,
And there is.
then it should be.
It's a provable fact. There is no arguing against it.
And we're arguing for higher rates for men in that case.
In all these cases, what we're arguing for to be
Life
doing
insurance.
it correctly would result in us paying more in auto insurance and more for life insurance. Then you have the American Association of State Highway and Transportation Officials challenge the foundation's actuarial science. Their 2023 resolution to prioritize race, equity, diversity, and inclusion, race-based mandates for transportation contracts. This shit is nuts.
Yeah, and the part of the problem with like these associations is that they're not within the federal government. So these EOs that Trump's been signing, because I was looking it up, and like the EOs that Trump signed about
affected.
DI, can't touch it.
Yeah, they've literally built this insidious, untouchable shadow government that no matter what we elect or who we elect or what we want, will we ever get.
Yeah, and I think the argument for something like this would be the typical argument where you're saying, oh, well, this is it's a small factor in the decision-making process, or like the same idea as like women or men and women's sports where it's like a small portion. And so maybe the DEI or the ESG, it's like a small fraction of what's taken in consideration with these insurance rates. But like the counter argument like that we're trying to give is like it shouldn't be anything. If we have statistics and data to back it up, it's like why would you include any qualitative measures?
Well, hang on. Let's just say for an instance though, let's remove that argument for a second, and let's go down to the very last one here: the consent of the governed. I'm allowed to be wrong. Constitutional implications, how the shadow government subverts self-government by rendering the consent of the governed functionally irrelevant. I'm allowed to be wrong. I'm allowed to, if you want to claim, we have a group of people that swear they believe in democracy, even though they've not allowed their own party to have a fucking primary since 2012. But let's just say that those hypocritical people actually believe in what they espouse, right? What you're stating is that you believe in the right of the people to be wrong. And if the majority, which is democracy, majority rule, vote to have policies that cause global warming, that's the way that they're allowed to have it. They're allowed to create it. That's the right of democracy, for people to be wrong. And you've created a shadow government that never allows anybody to vote for anything to ever have any actual effectual change. You just mentioned that the president of the United States can sign an executive order. It doesn't even matter because it doesn't affect any of these people. And they get to continue to work in the background and drive their agenda forward no matter what we vote for.
Yeah, because this is very much what you would call the deep state, because a lot of these organizations, like, let's be honest, like, how often do you really hear NAIC talked about on the news?
Never. There's no reporter talking about this.
AASHTO, like,
Yeah.
and how often do you even hear, even if you have heard of that before, how often do you hear anything about what they do?
Yeah, of course. And Eric, how many people work for the NAIC?
Probably quite a few.
Oh, I guarantee it's some bloated bullshit.
It's nationwide, but it's like run on a state level, though, it sounds like.
737 people. To do what?
Apparently, they got 3 locations. One of them happens to be Kansas City, Missouri.
Oh, maybe
I don't know if that's true or
ask
not.
what's their annual budget?
My ChatGPT's been a little slow, so maybe I need to start a new chat. Oh, there we go. 2025 proposed budget.
167 million. Oh, they're running negative?
Surprise.
Oh, I wonder how they pull that off. Where does the extra 6.6 million come from?
Out of taxpayer pockets, I'll tell you that much.
Okay, so 167 million. How many employees? 700?
Yeah, 7. I think this just said 700 plus. So we'll say, I think you said, just say 750 or something.
Well, okay, it's about 200,000 per person. Yeah, geez. And how many of these? They said there's like 20 of these things.
Yeah,
Right.
there's over 20 of these little organizations. So, and the other ones might be even bigger.
Oh, yeah.
For
I
that
guarantee you
matter.
that American Association of State Highway and Transportation Officials, I wonder how big that is. Was that American Association of State Highway?
Yeah, AASHTO.
Oh, that's smaller. Oh, no. Yeah. 199 employees. What do you think their budget is?
Probably too high. But to be fair, we don't know much about these, so we don't.
Well, it's just jackasses sitting around creating policies. Look at that one. Look at that one. NASBE. Who's the NASBE? Gender inclusive curricula, pronoun policies, resisting restrictions on transgender sport participation.
So I think this one is this National Association of State Boards of Education.
Yeah.
Which is pretty messed up. So these
why are they
indirectly tied with our education, which is exactly who we argue the most shouldn't be facing any kind of gender inclusive curricula. Definitely no pronouns or transgender.
Why are you trying to remove barriers to their sports participation against girls? Like who gave you the right to do that?
Yeah. And our biggest argument, of course, just the idea of like it shouldn't be there at all, especially where it says ChatGPT saying it's a nonprofit, nonpartisan.
Yeah. I love how they call it. Yeah. They're clearly not nonpartisan.
Yeah.
But they get to claim that. Where do they get to claim that? Who gets to determine that they're nonpartisan when they're pushing every left-wing agenda item there is?
So, yeah, like one of the top things, policy development and guidance. So they provide research, analysis, and recommendations on key education issues, such as academic standards, assessment, teacher quality, early childhood education, student health, which, they're giving recommendations, it sounds like, in the research, but, if they're having this skewed ideology, I'm not sure if I'd want them. Like, this is an example, like, people can have certain beliefs.
Yeah, go ahead.
But associations like this should truly be nonpartisan. Because we're talking about school here.
And they're clearly like all the way on the left side of the spectrum. Pull their funding sources. I guarantee it's like, George Soros. I just love saying his name. I feel like he's like Voldemort. George Soros, he who shall not be named.
Let's see.
Just ask if George Soros funds one.
Probably somehow. Let's see.
Well, because he has all these nonprofit organizations where he funnels money via them.
Not very helpful with ChatGPT there.
No.
I guess we'll move on.
Yeah. It's all. Look, this is the kind of stuff that I think like people need to be aware of. People need to know. People need to understand. And I mean, so go back to the issue is even more alarming. Let's just read that one paragraph and move on to the next thing. Up a little bit more, a little more. Okay. While our article highlighting the influence of these associations, the problem is far more entrenched than we had room to describe in one piece. The groups are part of a broader ecosystem, backed by billionaire-funded NGOs, that's code for George Soros, and progressive think tanks that amplify their reach. Grant funding, often tied to these progressive policy requirements, pressure red state agencies to comply, even when it contradicts the conservative mandate of their constituents. This is not democracy. You can't live in a democracy. And I know we're not a democracy. I hate the term democracy because nowhere in our Constitution is it a democracy. But this violates representative government.
Yeah. And I hate the people who get so caught up in the terminology. It's like, oh, well, we're constitutional republic, not a democracy. It's like, who the fuck cares, dude?
No,
like, you know what I mean when you say one or the other. Like,
well, but here's my only problem with that. Because half of the country, liberal Democrats, absolutely believe in majority rule. It's why they're against the
electoral college.
Yeah. They absolutely want majority rule, which is a democracy, which is the absolute worst form of government, or one of them. It's socialism, it's communism, it's nationalism, it's dictatorship. It's all the things they scream they're against. They're for, really. Yeah. You can't allow a majority rule. You cannot allow a democracy, which is why I take issue with the word. But I get what you're saying, though.
Yeah.
You'd think everybody understands, but I swear half the country absolutely wants majority rule. Right, and the reason why is because they think they're in the majority. They truly do believe they're in the majority. I mean, that's why the fat, ugly lady was like all of a sudden claiming that this election, for years, Donald Trump was lambasted for saying that the election was rigged, and then he wins, and you got Rosie O'Donnell going, I think we really need to look at this. Oh, wait a minute. I thought our elections were the most secure elections on the face of the planet. Yeah. Oh, you lose, and all of a sudden, you're singing the same tune.
Sounds about right. That's politics for you.
Yeah.
It's always dumb.
Yeah. All right. On to the next item.
So we got quite a few good choices here.
I say census.
All right. Let's move on to the census. I
think we should need to end with 401k and dildos.
I should have organized these a little better. Which ones?
Down one, right up. Order new census.
Oh, okay. Yes, sir. So it's Politico. And, of course, it's something that's been pretty big in the news lately. And with this and indirectly with the redistricting is that the whole idea of this, this map for all these districts are all around the country can be pretty radically changed between redistricting and then maybe a new census altogether. And then who the hell knows how many states are going to lose. Like there's certain states like, California, Texas, that are probably going to lose seats in this case if there was a new census done. And then you combine that with the redistricting. I know Gavin Newsom is now pretty much all the way on board with redistricting. And so it's pretty crazy. I don't know if this will go through or not, but it's pretty crazy that the district mapping in all these states could be pretty radically different in the next 12 months here.
Yeah.
And so it'll be interesting to see if this all does play out by the midterms and to see what kind of effect it could have, which way, one way or the other. Something tells me that even if all this stuff does play out, it'll probably be pretty net neutral at best. But
and I'm gonna take a little bit of umbrage with that because I think we're witnessing something pretty wild. Okay, I think the two biggest lies told during the last election was, well, one I'm going to lump two together, was that Joe Biden had a brain and Kamala Harris was intelligent. Okay, that's one massive lie on one side. And the biggest lie on our side was that Donald Trump didn't know what the hell they were talking about when they said the 2025 project. And so I think conservatives have pulled off one of the most incredible things ever. And I think this even ties into what a lot of what I think that there is this overarching, giant, far-reaching plan on the part of conservatives to use Trump to do something that they've never been able to accomplish before, and that's actually fight back finally and remake America very, very, very rapidly. All right. I think they identified a couple things. And one of the things they knew is they knew that midterms is going to go against them. It usually always does. And so I think a lot of what Trump does, and I even think this DC crime thing is part of this, right, is he knows he can do anything. Talk about renaming the Gulf, talk about taking Iceland, talk about making Canada the 51st state, talk about crime in DC, and you automatically have all the leftist propaganda machine just go full tilt, like it actually matters. Okay, and they burn time, they burn effort, they burn energy, right? And in the meantime, he's doing shit that actually matters, right? This census thing is a major, major thing that matters. The redistricting is a major, major thing that matters. I wonder if they even have a plan to deal with all those groups we just talked about. Because whoever built this 2025 plan has to know that even if you accomplish all this other stuff, but you leave this deep state in place, you're still going to lose in the long run, right? And so I really think that what you're watching here, and I just love watching all these things happen simultaneously, is you're watching the ability for Republicans to take control of Congress for a very long time. Because the illegals give seats first and foremost. And I think we're down to, I don't know if we've resulted in getting any out of the country per se, but I know we shut down the flow coming in. Right?
Yeah.
Have you seen anything that talks about if we've reduced the actual number in America?
Yeah, I saw some earlier on X. I don't know if I'll be able to find it again, but it was showing kind of quarterly.
Okay.
And it was like from the beginning of like this year that it was down by, I could be completely wrong, like 1 million people.
Okay.
I could be completely wrong. I just saw that earlier. I should have marked it.
Yeah. Well, it'd be interesting to whether that's enough in certain areas to cause, because it'd be great to strip a ton of seats from California. It'd be great to strip seats from Colorado.
It'd be tough because I think
from New Mexico.
I think like one district is like 700,000 people. So it's like probably
a million might not do it. Well, but remember, there might be areas in which it's tight, right?
Well, exactly. Like it would definitely reduce seats, and by probably a decent amount, because you think about not only the illegals that came in the last 4 years, but everybody who's already here in the first place.
Yeah. So here's something I think people don't really realize and need to understand when we're talking about immigration and the census in regards to counting illegals or not. When they wrote that every person should be counted, and all the way up until I think like 1917 or 1914 or something, there was no rules about immigration.
Yeah.
As long as you could get to Ellis Island, you got to become an immigrant, right? Now, why did we start to create rules around it? Because we created a nanny state. There was also no welfare. And we have created a massive welfare system. You cannot have a massive welfare system and still have uncontrolled immigration. You just have a flood of people coming in to get your free money. Which we do to a certain extent. I don't think all immigrants are coming to get free money. I think they come in to work and get real money. But I'm just saying you can't have a out-of-control welfare state and out-of-control immigration. So things changed from the time in which it was written that all persons should be counted.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the same thing with that birthright citizenship. Like
same thing with that.
It's like when it was written... Obviously, like they had a completely different interpretation of what they were trying to say.
They needed to make sure every slave became a citizen,
because they couldn't have predicted the fact that like one day there'd be much stricter immigration laws, and then we got all these people in the country completely illegally.
Yeah,
and like when the birthright citizenship talking about slaves, it's like, well, talking about slaves, not illegal immigrants, and the same thing with the census, like counting all people. Well, because like all people should be counted, but now. It's a little bit different.
Yeah. It's wildly different. And I love this. This looks great.
It's pretty crazy to see how fast this grew over here.
Oh,
Q1
yeah.
20, like this is crazy. That's over a 50% bump
Yeah.
in 4 years. Over
Yeah.
50%.
I would like to see the line going down steeper. I want it to look like I want it to be the inverse of Al Gore's global warming hockey stick. Just plummet, just straight off the cliff. Just move them out.
Yeah. So be interesting.
Yeah. So I think this. I think the birthright citizenship, the census count, the redistricting.
Average population per district is about 761,000 people. But I mean, that number would change if you took away 15 million people. But yeah, it would definitely cause a state like California to lose some seats. A state like Texas would lose some seats. New York, for sure, and maybe a couple of the other sanctuary states.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, part of the reason why Trump's pushing for it so hard is that it would benefit us, the right.
Yeah.
So,
oh yeah. Big time.
Even though there's some states that would lose, like maybe even Florida would lose one.
Yeah.
But as a whole, we would definitely benefit.
Yeah. 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 And I just love watching this like multi-pronged approach that I really think comes from this Project 2025 and the people behind it. And I think it's why like they got the Supreme Court to rule against, district judges being able to do injunctions against the federal government across the entire country. I think that's part of it. I think the birthright citizenship, I think the census, I think the redistricting, I think the dismantling NPR and Planned Parenthood. I think somebody recognized that in Donald Trump, you finally had the one HMMF that you needed to just go full tilt. And it's incredible to watch.
And to me, most of those things that you just listed off make a whole lot of sense. Like the only one that you listed off there that like I see as like controversial would be like the redistricting battle. But like everything else, like the birthright citizenship, this kind of stuff, like any of that list, like just I mean, I'm biased.
Well, did you see the map of Illinois districts before the Democrats gerrymandered them?
Yeah, I have seen it.
It was like nice square blocks. And now it's like the craziest shit you've ever seen. Right? And so again, this is the number one reason I voted for Trump initially was I saw in him someone willing to do what Democrats do. I hated the fact I belonged to this party that was always trying to take the high road and do the right thing and not be just this horribly evil political animal. And then I didn't meet, but then I
wish.
Then I saw Trump. And I was like, holy shit. This is somebody who behaves like a Democrat, cheats on their wife, bangs, porn stars or whatever. Like you would have thought he was a fucking Kennedy, right? I mean, he wasn't like Ted leaving dead hookers in his car while they drowned in a lake. But like, he was cheating on a pregnant woman with a porn star. Like, finally, we had a Democrat in behavior. And I just saw he was going to be able to accomplish all this stuff because he didn't care about any of the rules. Just like Harry Reid in his interview where he goes, I've never met a line I wouldn't cross. Yeah, well, where was the Republican version of Harry Reid? And finally we got it. And it's beautiful to watch. And I also don't care if it burns the whole system down. Because when faced with the alternative of one side doing whatever they wanted and getting away with it, and if you tell me that if my side starts to do the same thing, it's just going to elevate the conflict to collapse. Well, the alternative is my side does nothing and your side keeps getting to do whatever they want. I'll take the burning the whole thing to the ground all day if that's the end result. And I don't think it is, because I think that what Trump is doing is like actually fortifying the foundation of America.
Yeah. And I think if both sides do it, then, kind of cancel each other out.
Yeah, it's like what you're saying with the
better for
redistricting.
worse. And people just bitch and complain about it, and that's about it.
Yeah.
I think that's the worst part about it. People just bitch and complain, yell at each other, but I don't think it would burn anything down. But so I think Census to me makes I guess we go in, I might see if there's anything else in that article, but to me it makes no sense that illegal immigrants would be in there at all. And because otherwise, like, if we don't do one mid-decade here, we got to wait till 2030.
Yeah.
And in 2030, I mean, maybe J.D. Vance in office and we get that done the way we want to, or maybe it's not.
So now, what do you think the courts are actually going to allow us? Do you think the Supreme Court is going to allow the census to go through without any of the illegals being counted?
Well, if they're protecting birthright citizenship, then they're probably going to protect illegal immigrants in this.
Yeah.
Because to me, those are pretty equal.
Yeah.
Because those are both things in the Constitution that that we have, it just makes no sense. It was written in a completely different time period, but if you're going to follow the literal definition of it, then I guess
okay, so to be non-hypocritical, right? Like, conservatives claim to be the party of constitutionalism.
Yep.
Like, whatever that term's called. There's a word for it, right? The way it was written, right?
Yeah.
And then you have Democrats who do things like within the penumbra, within the shadows of Amendment 14, a woman can kill her own kid, right? And nowhere in there does it give them that a right. And that's why they use the word penumbra, which means literally fucking made up out of nothing. They're literally telling you they made it up, which is why then the Supreme Court's able to go back in and undo it. But if we're going to be the party that swears that it's supposed to be interpreted as it's written, then the correct thing to do would be to get Congress to pass an amendment removing birthright citizenship and eliminating illegals from the census.
That will never happen.
How lopsided would we have to get Congress?
Isn't it like a 2/3 vote?
I think it would be to do an amendment. Yeah, I think it's a 2/3 vote. And so, when would you ever be able to get enough Republicans
got 2/3 House and Senate, which that will never happen again.
So there will never be an amendment passed ever again.
Unless something like real common sense comes up. But I mean, I think we would have already ran into it. So yeah, probably not. Because like, even if we want 2/3, you'd need like 75 Republicans to pass something like that, because you're going to get people dissenting and not voting yes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Will never happen.
67 out of 100 senators. Jeez. All right. So the only way you're getting an amendment passed is you need to get the CIA to get enough dirt on all these assholes.
Yeah.
All right.
That's about the only option, yeah. Because otherwise,
that's going to be Project 2029.
Yeah.
2025 is what's going on right now. Project 2029 is the next 4 years. We're going to just get all the blackmail possible.
Right.
You're going to see 290 and 67 toe the line. Everyone's going to be like, how in the world did we achieve unity?
It's going to be the most unified we've ever been.
That's right. Well, because we got video of all you.
Yep. All right. Let's see. Moving on to the next topic. I think either the National Guard DC, or I think also a good one, a little bit smaller, but it's that 401k.
Yeah, let's do the last. Let's because I think 401k is interesting and fun, and so let's do the National Guard before we get to the 401k.
All right. This is from the BBC. I chose this compared to any other source just because I like.
We know you like BBC. You don't got to tell us.
I just unfortunate.
I've seen your browser history.
Yeah, damn right. Whole lot of.
You just love that British
beautiful
news.
Yeah, beautiful British cock. All right. So yeah, this is something that's kind of developing this week. You know, Trump wanting to deploy 800 National Guard troops within D.C. He's also, I think, trying to take hold of like the local police there, the Metropolitan Police, which I think he has a little less power to do so. But National Guard, he certainly does.
Well, and he does, but it's only because, again, like this is what I love, right? Like Democrats want to scream about this, but the mechanism by which he's doing it has been in place since 1989 or 86. You haven't had a problem with it up until now. So again, if you really had a problem with it, why was the memo written by the DOJ in the 80s still a thing if you have a problem with it? Why didn't you sue then to make that memo illegal?
Yeah, they still want to see Trump using it.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't agree with what Trump's doing here on this one. Like, I don't get it, other than if it's just to like cause Democrats to scream and cry about something again, in which case I'm all for it. Like, the more stuff Trump can do that just sends them off down rabbit holes of screaming and yelling and banging pots and pans. Did you see that? Did you know they're banging pots and pans in the streets to protest this?
Not surprised.
Where do they come up with their stuff? Do you know they started a screaming group in here in Kansas City? And all the liberal Democrats are getting together to scream, to let out their angst.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, like the more stuff that Trump can do that causes more Democrats to do that stuff, I'm all for it. I just think it's great to like have people directing their energy towards such inane, bonkers, nonsensical activities. And it just means there are less of them in reading pornographic books to my kids in their elementary school and dressing up as women and
keep them nice and busy.
Yeah, just keeps them busy. It's like, what's that? How do you keep an idiot occupied? And you put a scratch and sniff on the bottom of a pool or whatever. You put, they turn over and turn over. And it's like, I swear Trump does like 10 of those things a week that just send Democrats and Democrat media propaganda arms spinning their wheels, right?
Yeah, they definitely stay busy. And so the whole idea behind this is just the violent crime, and then also to some extent, I think, kind of the
yeah. And so look at this article. Go up to the top. Look at that paragraph. Go all the way to the top, real quick, right? And it says, okay, fourth paragraph down. Violent crime in the city is at a 30-year low. Now go down. Right there. According to the data from the city metropolitan, homicides dropped by 32% and reached their lowest level since 2019. Now, is 2019 30 years ago?
Well, there's been another drop of 12% this year. The data shows.
Uh-huh.
So that might bump them down. I have seen a chart on this. Oh, here is the chart. Well, violent crime maybe, but homicide rates still elevated.
Yeah. I love it's like cherry pick your data.
Yeah, because like
homicides aren't at a 30. Violent crime. What do you count as violent crime? If homicides are nowhere near a 30-year low.
Yeah, and I've heard people saying that part of the reason why the data says it's lower is because they're not enforcing certain rules. I don't know about that. No idea. But this is still pretty spooky, especially when I go to something like Grok and I ask it to pull up the top cities in the country for homicide rates. And Washington, D.C., it's not in top 10, but top 15. It's number 15. And I think ultimately it's this whole National Guard thing is mostly symbolic. And I think ideally, Trump has wanted to make it a safer place. And again, mostly for symbolic reasons, to have more of a pristine capital, make it more beautiful, make it safer. And then, like I was saying, this for violent crime, but also I think they're getting kind of pushing out the homeless people. I think I've read that they're trying to get people checked into homeless centers or some kind of rehab and getting them off the streets, which again, pretty symbolic. You don't want to, of all places, you don't want your capital to look, for better for worse, trashy.
Yeah. So ChatGPT thinks crime is legitimately down, not just due to reclassification, unreporting, changing reporting, changing definitions. And it's actually part of a national broader decline. And this is something that I think is interesting. I knew it was going to be this way. And Rudy Giuliani, his claim to fame was reducing crime in New York. And the economists who wrote the book, Freakonomics, they took a look at crime across the entire nation. And they, like using LexisNexis and all this, they found there was 50 different reasons given all over the country in different news stories and articles as to why crimes had dropped. And so they were able to analyze it to see if any of those were the actual reason, and it turned out none of them were. I'm not going to get into what the actual real reason was. But it rhymes with smortion. And the elimination of an entire generation of criminals. Now, right now, according to ChatGPT, the trend of crime dropping in D.C., because it was funny because I read this article where D.C. is trying to claim they instituted all these new policies and stuff, but this trend is actually mirrored and reflects a broader national decline in violent crime post-pandemic.
Yeah, I know somewhere here they was talking about the mayor saying how they'd seen a spike. I'm not on the right article. A spike in the violent crime in 2023, and then now it's coming back down, which you can kind of be seen here. Although it really started way back in before 2015.
Yeah, and I think Trump's problem, and I'm not saying I don't care what the problem is, I don't agree with the approach, but is whether crime's down or not doesn't fucking matter. It's still bad.
Yeah, definitely. The fact that it was ever almost at 80, that's almost like 1 in 1,000 people living there would get murdered, which is crazy. Yeah, 1 in 1,000.
It's insane.
Imagine you got 100 friends, you got a 1 in 10 chance at.
Yeah. But
that's hard. That's even
in 2024, DC ranked 4th highest in homicides. It went Memphis, St. Louis, Baltimore, and DC. That ain't good.
Yeah,
right?
Not the best company to be in.
7th highest among large U.S. cities for overall violent crime.
Yeah, but I guess.
So even if it's coming down, it's bad.
Yeah, so I guess.
But I guarantee you, and I'd love to look this up, I guarantee you all the leftist news sources are all rushing to talk about how D.C.'s paradise, and it's Washington, D.C. is a mostly peaceful, crime-ridden city.
Yeah, and kind of what BBC's talking about, this is just what other news outlets are talking about. And it's what I disagree with. The whole idea, most of his articles just talking about how, crime is down, crime is down, crime is down.
Yeah.
And I think that's just a dumb argument. They should form a different argument because the crime is still elevated. It's not where it should be. What they should, I guess, argue more of is just
okay,
there's no reason.
You ready for this? What is, go back to what DC's homicide per 100,000 people are. Ready for this? And then I'm going to give you a couple comparisons.
This is, it's around 25.
25 per 100,000?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to know what Bogota, Colombia's is?
What is it?
14 per 100,000.
Yeah.
Mexico City. Do you know how many homicides per 100,000 they have?
What?
7. So now, this is according to the Times. Is it the New York Times?
Yeah.
What's the Times? Do they call themselves the Times?
Yeah, I think New York Times.
Yeah,
okay.
the
Times.
All right. So DC is worse than Bogota and Mexico combined. I mean, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody that wants. People from Bogota don't want to live in Bogota. People in Mexico City don't want to live in Mexico City. I'm not saying it warrants any of this.
Yeah.
I like I think it's funny when you look at major cities, right? They vote for all this. And no matter how bad it gets, they just vote for more of it. It's been one of the most, and I don't think anybody deserves it. I'm just saying it's interesting to me. In fact, there's a fantastic book called San Francisco, written by Michael Schellenberger. And Michael Schellenberger is a diehard leftist and has been his entire life. And him and his wife were going to their office in San Francisco, and they're like stepping over crack whores and needles and human shit. And I think his wife, if I remember the story right, his wife looks at him and goes, like, why does everywhere that institute the policies we fight for end up like this? And it finally hit him. And he had to do like a real introspective analysis of what they were for and why it actually doesn't work and has the exact opposite outcome of what they want. And from that, he wrote the book San Francisco. It's phenomenal. But I'd highly recommend it. But nice. Yeah. So what do you think? What do you think Trump's like? Why do you really think Trump's doing this? You think it's just because it's DC and he wants DC to be like a light on a hill?
Yeah. Well, I think he also, in the past, I know in his first administration that he always like pointed out to capitals of other countries, showing how nice they are, and comparing it to our capital and saying like, you know, we're the greatest country in the world. Why do these other countries that are vastly inferior to our country, why do they have way better capitals? Yeah. Like we're hosting, you know, all these like, you know, leaders of all these other countries. And then we've got a shittier capital than they do. So it's purely symbolic. And this is symbolic as well. Just the same as if Washington, D.C. looked the way that Trump would want. Again, it's symbolic. Yeah. And Trump, you know, as you know, is a very symbolic guy. He values things that, you know, Democrats might think is dumb, but if another leader gives him respect, he values that a lot, and then he sees like imagery as being really important. And so if we've got a capital that has any kind of violent problem, any kind of homelessness problem, and just like looking like shit, he wants it different. Now with this, I don't really know really what kind of lasting impact the National Guard would have, and he can't really control the police that for like, because he can only control the police for 48 hours, and to provide or to control longer than that, he would need a written notice to Congress, and even if that notice is provided, they cannot keep control of the police for longer than 30 days. And so this is really a short-term thing to a long-term problem. So I have no idea what the solution would be. Again, so that's why I'm saying this is purely symbolic.
Yeah, I think so too. All right, so I'm going to go back to San Francisco real quick. I really, really recommend this. All right, I'm going to just read part of the introduction. Okay. He says, when I first heard last June that a group of people had taken over a neighborhood in downtown Seattle, ostensibly in response to the killing of an unarmed black man, George Floyd, by a police officer in Minneapolis, I couldn't understand what had happened. It wasn't like a bunch of heavily armed anarchists had erected traffic barricades and kicked the police out of their precinct building, I thought, and went back to whatever it was I was doing. It was only after I learned of the killing of 2 black teenagers in the occupied area that I came to understand the anarchists had, in fact, done exactly that. But why? And why did the Seattle police and mayor let them? I am not, now here's this guy's credentials. Ready for this? I'm not unfamiliar with radical politics. As a socialist youth in the late 1980s, I had read books by America's most famous anarchist, Noam Chomsky, excoriating U.S. imperialism in Latin America. From 96 to 99, I worked with eco-anarchists seeking to save old-growth forests in California, the Pacific Northwest. And in 1999, I protested alongside so-called black bloc anarchists against economic globalization in the streets of Seattle. While I knew anarchists wanted to abolish government, it never dawned on me that a major city government would actually participate in its own abolition. What was going on? All right, ready for it now. Skip forward. He says that, he says, I came out here in 1983, said HBO's Bill Maher to Representative Adam Schiff in the fall of 2020. I found paradise. I love California. I do. I don't want to leave. But I feel like I'm living in Italy in the 70s or something. I don't know what I'm getting for my super high taxes. I was as confused as Maher. Though I've been a progressive and Democrat all my adult life, I found myself asking a question that sounded rather conservative. What were we getting for our high taxes? And why, after 20 years of voting for ballot initiatives promising to address drug addiction, mental illness, and homelessness, had all three gotten worse? And why had progressive Democratic elected officials stopped enforcing many laws against certain groups of people, from unhoused people suffering mental illness and drug addiction in San Francisco, Los Angeles, and Seattle, to heavily armed and mostly white anarchists in Seattle, Portland, and Minneapolis? I wrote San Francisco because I didn't have the answer to those questions and felt I needed them. What I discovered in the process was that much of what I and other progressives had believed about cities, crime, and homelessness was all wrong, and that we needed to get it right. It's amazing to be able to gain access to the mind of someone where, as an adult, their entire framework and belief system gets dismantled and they're willing to share it with you. It's wildly educational.
Yeah. Unfortunately, though, there's probably, for every book like that, there's going to be a book about someone on the right saying, oh my gosh, my right-wing ideas and, failed me and blah, blah, blah.
I personally believe there's a lot fewer of them. I'm pretty, there's.
Because for every person in Congress that says some dumb shit that we talk about, there's, just this.
No, come on. How many people have you heard about switching parties to independent or Republican versus the other way around? Come on.
Well, that's because political tides are shifting in our direction, but
I've been pretty into this my entire life, and I'm telling you, it is
if that's the case,
it is very, very rarely.
Then we'd keep winning elections easily.
No, I don't think that, because I think that there's the minority responsibility, self-determination is always the minority viewpoint. Always. And it has been since the dawn of time. Have you heard of the organization, the 3%ers?
No.
Okay, well, it stems from the idea that during the war against England for our freedom, it was really only about 3% of the population that gave a shit. The number of people that actually care and actually try and want to take the responsibility to affect change is always a minority. You're always going to have the majority of people vote for more funding for their schools, more funding for school lunches, more funding for welfare, more funding for Social Security, more funding for healthcare. You will always have the majority of people voting for that shit. We will always be a minority.
But
rarely does it.
If there's more people switching from Democrat to Independent and Democrat to Republican, and
no, I just don't think they switch. I'm just saying they don't switch. They just stay on their train of thought. But there are people that come up on the left and actually switch over to their side. I don't think there's very many people that come up on the right and switch over to the left.
Think about all the amount of Republicans that have TDS and they've switched.
True. That is an excellent point. I got cussed out by a client. He told me I was not a patriot.
And that's exactly the type of people.
But he's not voting Democrat.
Well,
he just doesn't like Trump.
Well, in his case.
Now, you did remind me, a buddy of mine, Mike, his girlfriend grew up Republican in the conservative house, and she went left. And so I'm not saying that doesn't happen. I'm just saying rarely is it that somebody of significant position as an adult goes from the right to the left.
I had a buddy who voted for Trump in 2020, first time he's ever voted.
Yeah.
Now he's dating a girl, and they go to anti-Trump protests together.
Well, that's the power. You know what?
Yeah, that's fair.
We all know how that works.
Yeah.
What a cuck though. Jeez.
Yeah. My opinion on protests is I have low opinion of people who do that shit. So I think
I don't get it.
Not low opinion of him, but just protesters.
Yeah. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Clarifying.
Yeah. All right. Let's go 401ks.
I'm going to go ahead and pull up. I've got a few here. I'm going to pull up the CNN one, though, just because there's more comments, because that's what I'm more going to show off here. Because the EO itself is...
and what does the EO do? What does it say?
It allows more investment options within a 401k.
Yeah.
And so in this case...
Sounds terrible. Why would we ever want more options?
Private equity, crypto, things of that nature. I think even real estate.
Oh, this is just a plan to make the rich richer, right?
Yeah. And so I think, so to me, the EO is pretty straightforward, all things considered. It's just a matter of time till it gets implemented. But it opens up, those 401ks to crypto. It opens up the 401ks into private equity, which hadn't really been accomplished beforehand. And so, and it goes on here, it's talking about, private equity, private credit options have been riskier, more expensive, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, whatever. I mean, just about everybody knows what private equity is. Pretty much everyone knows what crypto is. The thing I have an issue with is that Trump signs this, and to me, I'm like, cool. I don't even, like, I have a 401k on Fidelity, in which I can invest in anything because it's a self-employed 401k. It's
self-directed.
So I can invest in whatever I want. It's like an IRA. So this doesn't even affect me, but I still think this is great because you give more freedom to people. But what's funny to me...
Wait a minute. Do you believe in democracy? More freedom to people? Isn't that what we're supposed to have? No?
Wait till you read some of these comments, see if we can find the comment. So, what's just funny to me, I mean, a lot of people, I mean, of course, you get the left-wing people who just...
Anything endorsed by what is toxic? We're going
maggots.
Anything endorsed by maggots is like they didn't even engage their brain for 2 seconds.
But there's a lot of comments like this. Keep Wall Street's grubby hands out of the average Joe's retirement funds.
Well, I agree with teaching finance lessons in 3rd and 4th grade, so I'm with that guy.
And this person say how they're going to
transfer a wealth. Every transfer with $100 in their 401k, gladly invest in questionable investments because it's endorsed by their leader.
And these aren't even the comments I'm talking about because we're going to ignore the complete delusional people. I just want to.
Well, those are wildly entertaining. I like to imagine that every Democrat's one of them. I'm kidding. That's a joke. The orange toddler. Toddler is, yeah.
I'm trying to find a more serious one because I don't care about these not serious ones. Long before come on.
If maggots want to invest in Trump coin, it's their problem.
Because
I love this one. Look at 6 degrees. I don't care about as much. One of the features or bugs is that the holder takes responsibility for all risk. Do these people just can't handle having responsibility for anything, can they?
No, I mean, he's taking my side, though.
Where?
This guy.
Oh, I mean, he is saying as long as the risks are clearly noted, people can make an informed choice.
Yeah, so he's taking my side on it.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to find it. When this article first came out, it was more clearly one-sided. But it's just people saying another way for people
Trump to steal
money, and then people were talking about
MAGAs lose their shirts.
Well, and then a lot of people were talking about too how it's a cash grab, or basically people are going to lose all their money because of crypto, or the fees on these private equity funds are super high. I'm like, all these things are so stupid, and then people talking about how it's like, keep your hands out of my money. That's like the dumbest one is when people say, keep your hands off my money.
Yeah.
Because it's like, what the hell do you not even know how a 401k works? It's no one's moving where you got your money invested.
Yeah.
Like if you want to do your same stupid little what is it? The investment fund by age.
The time dated the retirement dated funds.
Target
dated funds.
It's like, for a 40-year-old person, we're going to go ahead and throw you in 30% bonds.
Like why in the world
you
are
go ahead and keep paying your fucking 2% or 0.2% on that for whatever reason.
Yeah.
For a shitty fund.
Yeah.
Or normal people who just have their money all tied up in the SP 500 or something. Like, no one's forcing you to move on over into private equity. And no one's forcing you to move your money over to crypto. And let's see here.
All hope abandon he who enter here.
There's not the. Okay, all these comments are not very useful. I wish I could have pulled up. Maybe it was Yahoo
Look at
Finance.
that one. Trump is on the list. Trump is on the list.
Yeah. Let's see.
If he was on the list, the Democrats would have published it, you morons.
I need something that's less of a left-wing
hate fest.
Yeah, because I want to get more people who are commenting on the actual EO.
Gotcha.
Because like that, this is probably better. This is Yahoo Finance.
Yeah, I like Yahoo Finance. I'm on it every day. Wall Street geniuses figured out a scheme to trade home mortgages so they could tap into the huge mortgage dollars. That ended with several blah, blah, blah. So now they're pushing to tap into the 12 trillion 401k retirement accounts. Spot on financial crisis. Which, dude, jeez.
But like this one's dumb. It's like basically saying gives rich people more access to our 401k balances. And it's like, again, like, what do you mean? Just if you're against this EO, just
don't do it.
Just keep your money in your stupid ass Target fund,
Yeah.
Target A fund, or the SP 500.
But who do you think built your Target fund?
Yeah, exactly.
All my funds are in Vanguard. Yeah. You don't think Vanguard is the fucking rich Wall Street people?
They charge a lot of money for those funds because it's
Yeah.
actually relatively active compared to throwing it into like the SP 500 that is not an active fund at all.
Yeah.
And then this one's talking about how bad private equity is. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, if you don't
ruins
like,
everything they touch, really?
if you don't want private equity, don't invest in it.
Yeah.
And this one's like also dumb. Average people will make less because of management fees and commission on private equity. And it's like, okay, if you really believe that, just don't invest in it, because not every private equity fund is going to do worse than like a public fund, like
Yeah.
SP 500. There's going to be instances where people can make a good amount of money, and there's going to be instances where they don't make much money.
All right. I'm going to give you a true story, okay, that I think highlights something that I find comical, okay? A major brokerage firm that is a household name had two sides of the house for you if you were on the retail side. One, every time you traded, they charged you a commission. And on the other one, you paid a fee. Okay? Now, because the masses are so easily brainwashed, the word commission became negative.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay?
You hide it in the fee.
No, ready for this? Ready for this? Hang on. This is one of the best stories ever. Okay? So this major brokerage house shut down. They got so much shit over the commission-based side, they shut it down and rolled everybody to the fee-based side. Now, the average amount of commissions generated on the commission side on a $1 million portfolio was under $2,000. The average fees on the fee side is $10,000. Okay? Because the truth of the deal is neither one's good, neither one's bad. If I have $1 million and I trade a lot in it, maybe I'm an active do-it-myself investor and I trade a lot, I might rack up a bunch of commissions by trading a lot. And I might do better by having my account in the fee-based platform.
Yeah.
But if I'm a passive investor and I don't trade a lot, I might do better with lower fees by having my money in the commission-based side.
Yeah, because you're never going to buy anything. So
Exactly. But instead of like getting to have the choice to be able to do what's best for me, the brokerage firm got pressured into just doing away with and actually making more money off everybody.
yeah, they're fine with it.
Yeah, they were happy to do it. Are you shitting me? I'm
Yeah.
going to 5X my fees off of you all day long. Sign me up.
Yeah.
But hey, we got rid of the commissions. Nobody's paying us commissions. Aren't we moral?
It's dumb, and I just really think it's dumb anytime I hear people talking about how having more investment choices is a bad thing, and then they're talking about how you can lose your money doing this and doing that, and it's like, who the hell cares? Like, that's kind of like the whole point of doing what you want with your money.
Yeah.
Like if you really like,
Look,
certain.
I love this. Go down to Cindy. Private equity, all caps, destroyed. Joann's, Big Lots, Toys R Us, Kmart, Payless Shoes, Sears. Did you just name off like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the shittiest companies in the last 50 years? Did
Yeah, for
private
real.
equity destroy them?
I'm not really sure how private equity destroyed.
I'm pretty positive every one of those was publicly traded and failing before private equity came in.
Yeah, and a big reason why a lot of those failed is that they all have something in common, is the fact that they're like in-person stores, which with the development of technology has become less and less profitable.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like those are all just like stores they go buy stuff.
Yeah. And then what's this person's last line? Does anyone remember junk bonds and .coms under Reagan? Reagan was president in the 80s.
Yeah, I'm confused. What is, I mean,
.coms were 90s.
Junk bonds for another 10 years after that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh.
But it just like leave it to Trump to help destroy our 401ks by allowing these risky investments to be included.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't understand how that's like, I don't understand how having an option there that someone has to go in and physically choose.
Oh, I'll tell you, it's easy because there's not a Democrat alive that actually believes in democracy because they think the masses are stupid. They think they're ignorant. They think they're dumb. They think they're incapable. And they think the government, a group of elitist fools, needs to be in charge of everything and micromanage everything. So the fact that you're getting choice is actually not what they like. I mean, why do you think they've not had a primary since 2012 that any of their people got to vote in? They don't believe in allowing people to vote in anything. They believe in giving you the appearance of it while taking it all from you.
And this one's dumb too. I mean, it's got to be hyperbole. Imagine paying 200 times higher fees. That's not true. And again, you don't have to invest in this. Like, you don't have to put your money in this. Like, just like for example, I log on to my crypto app, Kraken. And there's all kinds of crypto I can invest in. All kinds of meme coins, all this nonsense. Yeah. And I have all that at my fingertips. And I'm invested in Bitcoin and Ethereum. But I could throw my money at these meme coins.
Yeah.
And some of them I might get mega rich. I might make a shit ton of money. Yeah. A lot of them I might lose just about everything. I enjoy, like, I would prefer to have that option. I'm not using it, but I think it'd be dumb if they took it away. And it's like the same idea. Like, you don't have to put your money in something. Just don't put your money there. Like, they're not ruining your 401k. And these higher fees, it's like, if you don't want to pay a higher fee, don't invest in private equity because that's going to be much more expensive than a publicly traded company.
Yeah.
Or a fund that's like a combination of them. Like, of course, the private equity is going to be way more expensive.
So, true story. Yesterday, a friend of mine is a financial advisor, and he works for a major firm. Okay.
This one's funny.
I love this one.
Well, this one's funny because the name for one.
Yeah.
And then also talking about how much the money he's lost since his inauguration.
Yeah.
I'd like to point out, I'm not going to give too much information of myself, but I have made a fuck ton of money since Trump went in office.
Well, I managed.
Because of Liberation Day, mostly.
I managed tens of millions of dollars in the market. And they have all made a ton of money since Trump. I don't know what.
Yeah, what the fuck is he even invested in, dude?
I don't
Markets
know what.
are all-time highs right now.
I don't know what you could be doing, but you're doing it as wrong as it can get.
Like, the only way he would have lost money is if he sold out and bought higher.
Yeah.
And that's his own damn fault.
Yeah.
Like markets are at all-time highs.
You're literally telling us you are the stupidest investor on the planet right now.
And the guy told, like, let's see if anybody.
See more. I want to see more. Click see more.
Yeah, market is up.
No, up. See more. Right above reply.
Yeah. Oh.
I gained 101 under Biden. Okay. Yeah, I love these. That's many of you somehow lost money.
I think this one's funny. TDS much?
Yeah.
Well, his name is TDS. So, yeah.
Okay. So I got to tell you this story. Okay. Because this is the problem with what people are missing here, right? So this is a financial advisor for one of the largest named firms in America. Okay. Household name. I refer to them as Eduardo Jorge. You might be able to figure it out from there. One of his biggest clients calls him up and wants to buy a stock. FINRA has published a do not buy recommendation against this stock. FINRA, a non-governmental industry self-regulating entity. So it's a financial regulatory agency. Now, I don't know what their reasoning was or why, but I don't really know what FINRA is doing publishing the order against buying the stock anyways.
Yeah, if it's out there, why can't someone buy it?
Exactly. It's publicly traded. So he has his largest client, an accredited investor, request to buy a very small amount of money, tens of thousands, but to this
To
investor,
an accredited investor.
small amount of money to buy the stock. He submits the buy order. His parent company, Eduardo Jorge, will not place the order because of FINRA's letter. The stock 10x'd in a week. This guy lost $400,000 of gains in a week.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he would have lost it. That's his own decision. Like,
Yeah. And he wouldn't have even cared.
Yeah.
The amount of money he stood to lose was like 40 grand. The amount of money he stood to make was 400 grand. This isn't called investing.
Yeah.
Not allowed. People who think they're smarter than you, know more than you, think they have a right to tell you what to do. And all Trump's trying to do is strip that shit away. Power to the people, baby.
Yeah.
What there used to be a point in time in which liberal Democrats believed in that. That was their motto, power to the people. And now it's power to the government. I don't get it.
Me neither. Yeah, I think this is all dumb.
And I love Bob's stupid comment. Well, I don't know about anyone else, but I retired 20 plus years ago, converted it to an IRA account where we're more today when I convert. I've been taking RMDs out of it every year. Thanks for sharing, buddy. I have no idea what the point of that is.
Yeah.
You and every other person who has an IRA that's over the age of 70 and a half, 71, 72, or 73.
Yeah.
They're all taking RMDs out, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear it's more today than it was when you converted.
You would hope so.
If all you're taking is RMDs out of it.
Yeah, it ain't much. Did you want to go over anything else?
Oh, yeah. We can't leave off the best news topic of the day. I personally believe this is the ultimate evolution of women's sports. Like, because here's my deal, right? Is there a women's sport that is actually better than men sports? Like, is there a women's sport where women can do it better than men? And I'm going to set aside like beach volleyball, which I don't think they're necessarily better than men at, but they're better to watch than men.
Yeah, more interesting.
Yeah, definitely rather watch women's beach volleyball. I mean, I'm not watching any beach volleyball, to be honest with you.
But you better.
But if I'm going to pick between men's or women, I'm definitely watching, even though they're like 7 feet tall and built like a 10-year-old boy, I'm still going to choose to watch women's beach volleyball, right? So what's the point of it? Literally explain to me, what is the point of women's sports at a pro level? Because what's the point of men's sports at a pro level?
The best competition.
Okay.
And make money.
But, there you go.
Yeah.
It's to make money, right?
Yeah.
Because if you eliminate the profit motive, would the NFL exist?
No.
Would the MLB exist?
No.
The NHL?
No. It's
No.
the same thing as like any company or anything. It's all
What
profit-driven.
would the Olympics be without revenue?
Nothing. Well, I mean, what's even the point?
What's the point?
Yeah.
Okay? So, the point of all of these things is to generate a profit. It's to make money. Women's sports don't do that very well.
No.
Now, we did cover a couple weeks ago, the WNBA does appear as if it might achieve profitability for the first time in 20-something years. Kudos. Hat tip. Right? If it wasn't for the great white hype, I'm sure they wouldn't be happening. So, when you think about something that really has no real point to it, other than pandering, right? Making people feel good for no reason. And it involves women, and this is going to be really derogatory and sexist. So, like, to me,
That's what we're here to do.
what is the inevitable conclusion of this? I think it's chucking dildos at them. I'm just saying. I just feel like that's the inevitable.
It's good entertainment value.
That's the inevitable conclusion. I mean, it's like, and this has been done. And actually, my ex-wife brought this up. Right? Go back to what was like, and I think it's just the way this always occurs, right? Where did mud wrestling come from? It's the inevitable conclusion of women's sport. Throw two women in topless in a mud pit and watch them wrestle each other. That's great entertainment, right?
There's money right there.
There's money, right?
I don't know.
I don't think it made a lot of money, but it had to be entertaining.
Yeah.
Why isn't it bigger? Because you can't put it on TV. Powder Puff, right? The lingerie football league, right?
I've never watched it, but yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but you know about it.
Yeah.
Right?
I've seen clips, yeah.
Right? It just seems to me that mud wrestling, lingerie football, dildo chucking, like this, like when you have a sport that's not being done for a legitimate reason, the inevitable conclusion is shit like this.
Yeah. I'll pull up the Polymarket. Yeah, so I think it's pretty funny. I think it looks like they had officially taken down these bets, for better or for worse, because they had it on the daily, but the last one was August 9th. Well, it might still be live. I'm not sure, but I just think it's funny because, yeah, this is every day. Never mind. So each day they had this dildo thrown at WNBA game on any given day. And so, and each day they're doing it. And you look at the volume here, which compared to some bets, it's not that much, but for WNBA, it's quite a bit. So we got $75,000, $47.89. So you get, almost $100,000
it's
volume
being bet on dildos being chucked
on each game. So let's compare how that looks compared to actual games themselves. You get a game like this and you get, $22,000.
Holy shit.
And so you get, actual games.
You're getting 3 times or more betting on dildos than the actual game.
Well, it gets worse than that because there's some games here that, you get 7.6K.
Holy
5K. But then no.
So people don't, not only do people not watch this shit, they don't bet on it either.
The dildo thing, apparently it's got $178,000 of volume today.
Wow. Wait. Go to that one woman missing her first shot of the game. Who's the black chick that hates
Angel Reese?
Yeah, Angel Reese, man, she sucks. Let's go. I know people bet on her missing the first shot of the game.
I also want to put it out there. The WNBA, almost $800,000 volume for the dildo thrown over time. To put it in comparison with perhaps like the biggest season, like the biggest bet of the season, which who's going to win the league.
Yeah.
So championship, it's like who's going to win the Super Bowl. This should have the most money in it because it's all season long, and people are going to throw a lot of money on here.
You'd think so.
It has 344,000 compared to 789,000 about a dildo. And the dildo thing's like brand new too.
Yeah.
Happened like a week ago, and it's already got that much.
Yeah.
Let's see if there's anything for Angel Reese. There might not be.
No, there was. Like I could have sworn people were betting on her missing the first shot of the game.
Maybe just on Polymarket. That's probably on like an ESPN bet.
Okay.
And this has some of the same stuff, but this is more like
rebounds,
higher level
stuff. Is
stuff.
that $1,300?
Yeah. So there's not a whole lot of volume.
Holy cow!
Not a lot of volume.
Because she gets a lot of me bounds.
Yeah, but she got an 84% chance.
Well, that's because she's getting all of her own shots. Yeah. It's pretty easy to get rebounds when you set yourself up for them, right?
Oh, definitely. She might just be harvesting them and trying to get more. But
that's right. She's the one betting that she becomes the rebound leader.
She's making money off that. It's just crazy to me that that's got like the biggest thing that's crazy to me is this compared to the WNBA champion that has, well over double, like 2.5 times. Yeah. And this is for a dildo. And this bet's only been around since I think like August 6th.
Okay. Will you go to Google Images and do something for me here? All right. I just want to point something out. Do the WNBA logo and do the NBA logo.
What, something like this here?
That's interesting to me.
Oh, I guess that's the official one. I honestly don't even know. I'm guessing that's the official one. I have no idea.
I'm surprised the WNBA ain't upgraded their logo from when white guys played it like white guys to how it's played today. mean, that's clearly a white dude.
Yeah.
You know, not the most athletic individual on the court in the last 20 years, 30 years.
Jerry West. Yeah. There we are.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even need to see that picture to know that was him. I mean, I didn't know it was him. I just knew it was a white guy. Right?
Yep. 1969, white dude.
Yeah, playing basketball like 1969.
I guess WNBA doesn't have anybody. It'll be Caitlin Clark one day, so
It should be.
Yeah.
Doing a 3-point shot from half court.
I'm not even sure what they're doing in this pick.
Looks like a layup.
Kinda.
Or a hook shot, maybe.
A little mix of both.
Yeah. Other than that, we got a white guy doing a dribble down the court in the NBA logo.
Yeah.
You know, I think I was thinking when I had you pull this up, I was thinking Jordan's Nike logo, the Air Jordan.
Yeah. That's definitely a pretty cool one.
Does Caitlin Clark have a pair of shoes out?
She's got a huge contract with Nike, so I'm sure she's got shoes.
I was curious as to if she's going to
Maybe
get
not.
like a logo of herself on them.
That's not it. That's Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Maybe she wears Kevin Durant's shoes, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know. She's wearing Kobe. So, I mean, she's sponsored by him, obviously, makes
Yeah.
millions of dollars, but I guess
Yeah.
no official shoes. Looks like she might rock the
I could have
Kobe's.
sworn she was coming out with some shoes, but
She might be.
hopefully. Make that money. All right. Well, there you go. We got more money, twice the amount of money being placed on dildo chucking as we do on the championship game.
Yeah. Wild. Yeah. Not a lot of people betting on WNBA.
No.
Yeah.
You know, I would just like to issue a call to all women everywhere in America to support their fellow women in the noble pursuit of athletics. You know, turn off
Beautiful.
the Kardashians, turn off the Real Housewives, click over and watch some lesbians sweat it out on the basketball court. There you go.
Beautiful way to put it.
That is my Jerry Springer final thought. All right. Till next week, this is Elliot.
Nathaniel?
Signing off, guys.